Did you know the economy of the world shrunk by 5.2% in the year 2020? This year proved to be a disaster for all, including your favorite celebrities. While most of these celebrities pretended all is well, they suffered heavy financial losses. Here's a list of the top 10 celebrities who lost a ton of money in the year 2020. Number 10. Joseph Allen Maldonado. If you're wondering who the hell this guy is, let me remind you. Remember when everyone on the internet was talking about the Tiger King? Yep, that's exactly who we're talking about. Joseph Maldonado, aka the Tiger King. In the March of the year 2020, Netflix released a documentary on Joe Exotic. The former zookeeper quickly rose to fame when over 34 million people watched the series, and it became Netflix's most successful series. Though it's unclear how much money Joe Exotic made from the series, what we know is that the man's net worth has suffered a loss of $1 million in the year 2020. And guess what? There's no hope that Joe will recover that money anytime soon. At least not for the next 22 years. Wondering why we're making this claim? Well, that's the story we're about to tell. Joe made a mortal enemy in Carole Baskin. The feud between these two began in 2006 and 2011 when Baskin sued Joe for trademark infringement. The judgment came in Carole's favor, and this is where all the trouble began. The court ordered Joe to pay $1 million to Baskin, but Joe had some other plans. Rather than paying Carole the money, he hired a hitman to kill her. Whoops. After all, giving $3,000 to a sniper is better than giving $1 million to your worst enemy, no? But things didn't go in Joe's favor, and his plan ultimately failed. According to The Sun and NBC News, the court declared Joe guilty of 19 different counts. These included violation of countless wildlife laws and Baskin's murder-for-hire plot. Now Joe Exotic has lost a huge chunk of his fortune and is serving 22 years in jail. Meanwhile, his biggest enemy, Carole Baskin, is still out there living her best life. Number 9. Scary Spice. Did you know all the members of Spice Girls are desperate for a full-fledged reunion? But what's gotten into them suddenly? Well, let's just say the once world-famous English pop girl group isn't doing well financially these days. After their successful return in 2019, each member of the group made $18 million. And now, the girls are itching to make some more money. With many rumors and fights against the Spice Girls, it's safe to say that the group won't be coming together anytime soon. There's one member who's suffering the most because of the current situation, and that is Scary Spice. According to The Sun, the court ordered the singer to pay $5 million to her ex-husband, but the poor singer claimed that she has suffered so much due to coronavirus that she's almost bankrupt. This can be proven by the fact that Scary Spice had to leave Los Angeles in 2019 to move back to the UK, where she's fighting a legal battle to take her 10-year-old daughter back. According to the closest source, the singer reportedly had to give up her daughter due to a lack of finances. Yikes. Now this is sad. Wishing Scary Spice the best of luck for the future and waiting to see the group back on staging and rocking the world. Number 8. Post Malone. The American rapper rose to fame after his song White Iverson went viral on YouTube. Since then, Malone has given many hits and people around the world love him. But just like the other stars so far in this list, Post Malone has also suffered some heavy financial losses in 2020. Malone had 6 shows of his runway tour left when Live Nation canceled all of its upcoming tours. Malone somehow did one more of his concerts, but faced a lot of criticism. After this, Malone canceled the rest of the shows, because of which he suffered a loss of $6.5 million. But that's not all. According to alternative press, the singer was expected to appear at Rolling Loud, Hangout Fest, and Something in the Water Festival. These were canceled or postponed, because of which Malone suffered more financial loss. Well, all we can say is that the coronavirus pandemic certainly made life a lot harder for everyone. If you like what you see, then don't hesitate to smash that like button. Number 7. Chase Rice. Chase Rice is another celebrity victim of the 2020 heavy losses. In March 2020, the country singer appeared in the ABC audio interview and talked about the challenges brought about by the corona pandemic. Rice admitted that his finances had become so tight at one time he was thinking of selling his farm to pay salaries to his crew. Find it hard to believe, huh? Well, we'll share his exact words to you. "It's one or the other," Chase said, further adding, "Man, you don't realize till something like this happens how fortunate you are to have this money coming in from touring so you can pay your employees." Now, if this happened in March, we can only imagine what the singer is going through right now. After all, not much has changed since then. If you like the video so far, keep watching as your favorite celebrity might also be on our list. Number 6, Erika Jayne. Erika Jayne joined the Broadway production, hoping to reach the heights of success. But just when things were getting good for the Real Housewives star, the world threw a big hurdle in her way, and that hurdle was the coronavirus pandemic. According to Page 6, Jayne's Great White Way debut was cut short by a few weeks, potentially causing her to miss out on a vast sum of money. This was a tremendous loss for Erika Jayne and her attorney husband Tom Girardi, who's buried under enormous debt and on the verge of financial collapse. Number 5, Sonya Morgan. Sonya Morgan worked for years to set up her clothing brand. Though her brand made its debut in 2015, it didn't hit the department store until the year 2020. She was looking for the right place to stock up her line for years. Finally, she made a deal with a company named Century 21. But guess what happened? Just 1 year after Morgan's launch, Century 21 filed for bankruptcy. According to Fox 5 New York, the company claimed it was owed approximately $175 million in payouts from business interruption insurance, but it never received those funds, which led to a disaster. While we have little knowledge about how much Morgan's deal was worth, we know one thing for sure. The star suffered a huge financial loss and was extremely upset about the company's failure. Number 4, Paul McCartney. The Beatles' Paul McCartney is another star who suffered the enormous losses in 2020. In the year 2019, the star made more than $100 million while playing solo shows. But the breakout of the novel coronavirus brought everything to a halt, and many of McCartney's shows got cancelled. According to our source, the Beatles star endured a loss of a whopping $26 million in 2020. But McCartney doesn't seem to be worried about this loss. Maybe because this living legend's net worth is still over $1 billion. If you suffered any financial losses in the year 2020, share with us in the comments section below. And now it's time to see the celebrities who suffered the heaviest losses in the year 2020. Number 3, Donald Trump. The ex-president of the United States successfully survived the coronavirus attack, but sadly, his finances didn't. According to Forbes, while other world billionaires' net worth increased by $500 billion in year 2020, Trump suffered a whopping loss of $1 billion. Trump held $1.9 billion in commercial real estate, which shrunk to $1.2 billion after the coronavirus outbreak. That's not all. Trump's finances suffered a tremendous blow when people living in the rental properties owned by Trump were not able to pay the rent. Things have gotten so bad for Trump that he is looking to sell his Washington, D.C. hotel. Well, who knew 2020 would prove to be such an unfortunate year for Trump? Not only did he catch the coronavirus and lost the presidential elections, but he also lost billions of dollars. Number 2, Wendy Williams. In the year 2020, the talk show star finally took divorce from her cheating husband, but this divorce came at a massive cost. To pay her husband, Wendy Williams sold her house in New Jersey for an insufficient amount. According to Page 6, Wendy purchased the residence for $2.1 million in 2008, but because of the coronavirus breakout, the property's value fell and the couple sold the house for $1.4 million only. Along with that, she paid her husband $2.5 million for a residence and a vast sum of money for the shares he gained from him. Well, now that's just sad. As if a cheating husband isn't a big enough punishment for a woman, you have to take away her hard-earned money too. Number 1. Mohamed Hadid. Mohamed Hadid had been suffering financially since year 2019 when he made a wretched real estate investment. According to TMZ, Hadid's neighbors sued him and the court ordered Hadid to tear down his $100 million mega mansion because it presented a public health and safety risk. But here's the thing, tearing down a mansion isn't child's play, especially a manor as big as Hadid's. According to sources, it would cost the star $10 million to demolish his mansion, and sadly, Hadid doesn't have that much money. As per Daily Times, Hadid claims he's lost $60 million on the manor and barely any money made from the caviar and champagne products that carry his name. Things have gotten so bad for Hadid that he had to leave his mansion and shift to a much smaller house. And that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more amazing videos. See you next time.